I'm Bombsquad. I also go by the Bombsquad, and I've been in the custom monkey ball community since August of 2019. I've done a lot of programming work, mostly on the level creation tools, and I've also done some level design work as well. So in terms of the level design work, I've only released one small pack, only about 13 stages, and most of them ended up in a compilation pack known as Community Pack 2020. And I've also been directly involved in the development of some of the larger community packs, most notably the port of Deluxe to the GameCube. And I've also done some work on Community Pack 2020 itself as well. And I've also done some work with some other level creators as well to add custom features to their pack, most notably Monkey Ball Gaiden. I've done some work with that, and some of the level editing tools were developed in conjunction with the development of Monkey Ball Gaiden.
What all tools did you develop for the community, if any?
So I've done a lot of, where do I start? So first of all, probably most significantly, I ported and rewrote a tool that is a level editor plugin for Blender, originally developed by Crafted Cart, who's another wonderful member of the hacking community. Tool's known as Blend to SMB stage. I also updated the back end of this tool, which is the SMB Workshop 2 tool, which is quite commonly used, and in fact it's pretty much essential for level creation. Some of the things I've done, I've added support for new features such as animated backgrounds, jamma bars, which are the punchy things in SMB1 that everyone seems to hate, texture scroll, dynamic shadows, transparency, custom fog. I've also done some work that has allowed for more complex level animation to be possible. Most recently, I've been doing work on custom monkey race and monkey golf levels, some of which have been showing up in some of the newer packs. I think Cherm's latest pack has it, NGUU's latest pack has it, stuff like that. I've also done some work on the model viewer that is commonly used for custom levels. It's known as GX model viewer. In general, the fixes that and the improvements that I've made to it have just made levels in general look better. I know that if you look at like packs that were released in 2017, 2018, a lot of them they just don't look very good. They have weird issues where the textures look very blurry from a distance. Most of those issues have been, fixed by me fixing the tool up, and those issues aren't necessarily present in modern packs. What else have I worked on? I wrote a converter which converts Monkey Ball Deluxe levels to level files that are compatible with the GameCube. This tool was used quite extensively on the Deluxe port project.
I would imagine.
Yeah. I've written several patches for the game as well that add new features to the game, as well as fix some quote-unquote issues that existed in the original game. So I've done stuff such as re-add perfect bonus completion to Monkey Ball 2, continuous music in story mode, story mode character select, which I think at one point was originally planned to be in the original game, but just wasn't added for some reason. Then stuff like the challenge mode death counter for Monkey Ball Gaiden, extended the number of unique songs that can be included in a Romhack. That was most notably used in Community Pack 2020, which has like 40 songs, I think. I'm not sure. It's quite a lot.
Wow.
That's pretty much all I can think of off the top of my head.
How were you first introduced to the Monkey Ball series?
So I was introduced to Monkey Ball as a very young kid. I think I was about 3 or 4 years old. Though I don't entirely remember what specifically led me to get the game in the first place, I do have a very distinct memory of driving home in the back of my parents' car with a copy of Monkey Ball 1 for the GameCube, and I was just excited to play it. I was reading through the manual that was included with it. I knew the back of the box inside and out, and when I got home I played it. I was just absolutely obsessed with it immediately. I was enamored by the level design, the gameplay, the aesthetics. It just immediately stuck, and I was obsessed with it as a kid. And then later on, I think maybe a few months later, I remember walking around in a Walmart, I think, and I saw one of those cardboard displays for Monkey Ball 2, and I was so excited because they made a sequel to this game. and I just got it immediately. And again, I was just obsessed, and I absolutely loved it. And in terms of how much I've played it, it's probably in the thousands of hours.
Story's not too dissimilar. I kind of started with 2, I guess. I actually almost had 1. I got to play a version of 1 for about 15 minutes before the disc stopped working. So it wasn't really until I got into Wii Homebrew that I ever got to experience it.
You know, now that you mentioned it, I just remembered that my original copy of Monkey Ball 1, I think the disc, oh no, it was Monkey Ball 2. My original copy of Monkey Ball 2, the disc just would not play anymore. I just played it so much that it just got so many scratches that I actually just had to go out and buy another copy of the game. So I own 2 copies of Monkey Ball 2.
I think that's how I am with Sonic Adventure 2. I think I have 2 copies of that. Because 1 copy just got destroyed over the years. But yeah, of the official series, what would you say is your favorite Monkey Ball game?
Probably, that's a hard question. Probably Monkey Ball 2, I would say, but mostly only because it was the one I played the most. And I think the reason I played it the most was because for me, it was easier than Monkey Ball 1. I could just never get past, everyone has that story. I could never get past Expert 7 without losing a few lives in Monkey Ball 1, so.
Would always drain it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Monkey Ball Touch and Roll as well. I played that a lot as a kid, but not as much as the games on the GameCube proper.
What is your favorite Monkey Ball ROM hack?
So this is actually kind of a hard question because personally, I don't play very many ROM hacks. Like I would say that I've played significantly more of the original game than I have played any ROM hacks, but
Well, that makes sense, I
yeah,
suppose.
if I had to choose, I would probably say Monkey Ball 2 Witty Subtitle, which was released by Twilight before I joined the community, and I would just say that it's my favorite because I find it very fun to play casually, except for the Master Extra levels. Those are quite something.
Yeah, for sure. What other content / work do you do besides Monkey Ball ROM hacks?
So besides Monkey Ball, I also do some work for the platformer, which is also part of the ball rolling genre known as Rolled Out. I'm a level designer, and I also do some programming work for them as well.
What game inspired you to get into ROM hacking in general, if it was a Monkey Ball?
So just in general, I would honestly have to say Super Mario World and the original Super Mario Brothers. Back when I was very young, I want to say maybe 6 or 7, didn't necessarily know what I was doing, but I ended up figuring out how to make custom levels and custom worlds for those games, and I never released anything that I made, but it was definitely just a very fulfilling experience. I really enjoyed doing it as a creative outlet as well.
Interesting. I think you're the first person to, or actually you're the second. Yoshi Master mentioned that he got his start in Mario World as well. What game inspired you to get into Monkey Ball ROM hacking specifically?
I mean, I can't really necessarily say that any particular game got me into Monkey Ball hacking specifically other than the games themselves. But ever since I was young, I was always just obsessed with the ability to create custom stages for Monkey Ball. I'm sure if I look around, my house hard enough, I could probably find some custom stages that I made out of cardboard paper and like construction paper just lying around there somewhere. It's something I've always really wanted to do is, make levels and as well as make, tools for the community as well.
What exactly is your programming experience then?
So my programming experience, I'm a computer science student in college, first of all, but I've been programming since quite a young age, to be honest. I would say since I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, I used to screw around in Visual Basic and stuff. It was always just enamoring for me to be able to, create, programs that, solve problems on a computer or whatever. And, being able to take that experience and apply it to a series that I grew up with and I love very much, that's something that's, very fulfilling to me.
How has the process of creating ROM hacks evolved over time?
So, as you may have realized, I didn't necessarily join the community until quite late into the whole scene of things around 2019.
Sure.
So my knowledge of the early days of hacking is quite limited. And if you wanted a
Sure.
person to interview about that, would probably be Crafted Cart. I know she was there since the very beginning, but as far as I'm aware, the process back then, it was extremely tedious. It was extremely limited. Um, People had to manually place everything. They had to use text editors to arrange their levels. And you can tell that the process was quite difficult if you looked at any of the really early packs. They're not very, things are just sort of placed wherever. Things are floating around. It was quite a tedious process, and a lot of the level design wasn't very on point because iterating level design was quite difficult. Things didn't really evolve much, I would say, as far as I'm aware, until Crafted Cart released the SMB workshop tool, along with the original plugin for Blender known as Blend to SMB Stage. Essentially, that tool was used for the development of the pack Monkey Ball 2 Witty Subtitle, which at the time that I joined was probably one of the more technologically complex packs out there.
Definitely.
But by the time that I had joined, the main workflow at the time, 2019-ish, it was quite similar to how it is nowadays, but it was still quite tedious and I would say intimidating to level creators who were just approaching the process, and like like everyone does not like necessarily have like the technological understanding to be able to create scripts and stuff, and
Right.
there's like 4 different programs you have to juggle, and it was quite unfriendly. And in addition to that, there were a lot of features that the tools themselves didn't like have, and they didn't necessarily take the game to their full potential, because you couldn't have stuff like animated backgrounds, couldn't have scrolling textures. These things quite difficult to implement if you wanted to do it. So with a lot of the work that I've done to make things easier and to add more features, I would say that that's contributed significantly to some of the more modern packs that are coming out, like Toothy's SMB 2-in-1 and Kutzman's Monkey Ball Gaiden. I don't think those packs would have been necessarily possible, or if they were possible, they would not be to the level that they are now without some of the work I've done as well.
They'd be much more compromised.
Yeah, in terms of like their animation may not have been as complex as it is. Certain stages were simply not possible. Stuff like that. Certain effects were hard to apply. So yeah, over time, I would definitely say that things have gotten a lot more convenient for level creators who don't necessarily have to worry about like all the technical details of everything. They can just throw their levels together in Blender. They can test it out, and if there's something they want to change, they can really quickly change it. So I would definitely say that things have gotten a lot easier over time.
Cool. So I guess then we'll skip to the last bit. So what are the largest challenges that still kind of are in our way right now for Monkey Ball 2 modding?
So presently, I would say, currently, I would say that collision in custom levels is not necessarily the most convenient, and even like collision issues have worked their way into some of the modern ROM hacks, such as Monkey Ball Gaiden as well. Trying to figure out those issues, because you run into a wall and you would just teleport through the wall, or you just get bounced out of the wall. Weird stuff like that still happens. Still need to figure that out. Animation can be optimized even more. At this point, what we're doing for animation for custom levels isn't the most efficient necessarily. And I think what's left to do personally would be stuff beyond actually creating levels themselves. So I would say things like custom music, custom difficulty layouts, custom user interface elements, like stuff like that. That stuff is still not as easy to do as actually creating the levels themselves. A lot of the tools that are used for that process have not been touched or changed in years, and improving those processes is definitely something that I'm looking to do like in the future.
I think Brandon also mentioned, and I suppose this would go along with this, just happened to think of it. A lot of the deluxe exclusive features are still being worked on as potentially options
Yeah, so stuff
to
like 20
return.
stages in the story mode, as well as just straight on extensions, like, 20 worlds. That's something that's definitely to look into. Like, you can extend the number of worlds in story mode, stuff like that, or the number of stages that are able to be put into one ISO of the game. Monkey Ball 2 only has 421 stage slots currently, so extending that is a challenge as well. Something that's being worked on. Actually, right now it's being worked on. I know that there are some projects in development right now that aim to have thousands of levels, or like at least 1,000 levels. People are,
Really?
yeah, people are really trying to push the limits of this game. So those are definitely some challenges that need to be looked into.
What are your thoughts on the state of the franchise and the later Monkey Ball games?
So personally, I would say that I'm not very optimistic about the future of the Monkey Ball series in particular. I know the situation is changing. I know that recently there was a supposed leak of a new game that's being worked on, and now there's supposedly 2 games that are being worked on. Quite frankly, I'm not sure what the case is with that, or what's true or what's not, but just based on what I've seen with the direction the series is heading, I would honestly go as far as to say that I don't have the expectation that Sega can necessarily deliver an experience with any future Monkey Ball games that'll ever be able to match anything that a dedicated community can create. So, but with that said, I would say that the ball rolling genre in general is looking quite good. I might be a bit biased here, but I would definitely say that Rolled Out is definitely, a game that should be on everyone's radar for upcoming ball rolling titles that are going to surpass Monkey Ball, I would say.
100%. It's, I guess, where things are heading forward now. I know there's a few others, and I actually haven't touched them yet. Like Paper Ball, I've heard a lot about, but I haven't played.
Yeah, I've heard about that as well, and it's very exciting to see these games are coming out to consoles as well, so people can get the ball rolling experience on the go and such. I personally have not played Paper Ball or any other of the modern, the new ball rolling titles that have been rolled out.
What current technical developments are you currently working on, and is there anything you'd like to share regarding them?
So yeah, most of the stuff that I'm working on currently, besides fixing up like what few bugs remain in the tools that already exist, like the level creation tools, I'm mostly working on stuff that allows creators to more easily customize the game as a whole. So things like custom lighting. We can do custom fog currently, but we can't do custom lighting easily. Stuff like custom difficulty layouts, which I believe that process has not changed in several years and is still quite annoying to do and has its limitations. So things like that are definitely being worked on currently. And I'm also working with various other content creators on upcoming packs as well. And although I can't really say anything about them, out of interest of not spoiling it, I'm very excited to see the community's reaction to some of the stuff that's coming out soon. It's very exciting.
Well, I think that might be it. Yeah, I guess that's it then.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.